just being intentional about reading the labels really makes you
Yeah.
make better decisions about what you put into your body. That's it.
I mean, I admire your level of discipline. Like, I really do. I'm like, oh, I love it. You understand? Brandy, she is serious about her vegan diet, okay? But
Plant-based.
plant-based. Yeah, she's not vegan. She's plant-based because she will wear leather shoes. Okay.
I will.
And so I think that I admire that, but I know, like, for me to do something, like, I try to think of it like, am I going to be able to, I need this to be a lifestyle change. Like, I need to be able to sustain this. So I'm not a person who's going to tell you that I'm never.
Welcome to the Easy Answer Podcast.
Hey, what's up, Vaughn?
Hey, Brandy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're doing excellent. Excellent. This is like one of my favorite shows because we're talking about
documentaries. Vaughn's like second addiction to citrus documentaries.
I literally just sit home and just I feel like they're so informative, you know?
Mm-hmm. And the documentary that we're going to be discussing today is brought to us by Netflix. It was definitely all the talk, and it probably will be the talk for a minute, called the Twin Experiment, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this documentary was an opportunity for these doctors to see how effective the diet was in the health of a person. And they decided to pick twins for the experiment because twins have the same genetic makeup. And a lot of times you hear people say like, oh, this is not good for me because of my blood type, or I can't do this because
yes.
Random.
A lot of times people are guessing and they don't even know.
Correct. And so this was an opportunity for doctors to be like, oh, are we gonna like, can we debunk this myth? And twins was the way to make that happen, right? So so this is one of those episodes where we're gonna kind of go back and forth. We're gonna do some reactions, and if you don't know, this is on Netflix. It is called, like we said, the official name is You Are What You Eat.
You Are What You Eat, a twin experiment.
Yes. So let's kind of start digging into this a little bit.
Yes.
Everybody knows the average American diet is not very healthy. We sometimes call it SAD for sad.
Yeah, so sad.
Yes.
Cool. Why is it called sad?
But then, did you see how they had the cured meat? And we just bacon. Cured meat will mess you up always.
Yeah, too much. I think it's on the same list as a carcinogen and the same level as smoking, like, which is kind of crazy. But it's literally on the same level as smoking a cigarette. And I don't like like alarmist information for like, oh, don't eat bacon because if you're gonna get lung cancer, but at the same time
lung cancer for bacon.
It's a bit dramatic, but just something to consider when we're consuming foods, like at least at the volume that we're consuming them. That's it.
Yeah, so it's not just bacon, right? So it's bacon, it's lunch meat, right? Mm-hmm. You think, oh, I'm getting boar's head, I'm getting better like lunch meat, but it still has a lot of sodium. And
you might not have the nitrates, but you still have the sodium.
Yeah, and so and also like when you go to a barbecue and people cook food and the burnt pieces apparently aren't good for you either. And that's the piece I like.
Best pieces, man.
The best pieces.
Like the char.
Brandy even burns up the jag on when you burn up the carrots.
Oh,
so that it can taste like a hot dog. And if you're not burning red,
yes, you do. That's an important it is an important flavor profile. Cool. Important. All right. Let's get back into this see where else we're gonna go with this thing.
People don't realize that what we put in our mouths is more important than anything else.
Your dietary pattern can change your biology in a profound way.
It's a game changer.
And
Mm-hmm.
our mayor Eric Adams was in it as well, talking
Yeah.
about his, and we are New Yorkers, and he was talking about his journey from eating the sad standard American diet to adapting a more vegan / pescatarian. Well, I think he's plant-based adjacent.
He is technically plant-based adjacent. Yeah.
He doesn't call it that, but we're working on it. He's going to be calling it.
Yes. And, at the beginning, and, I like that you point that out, because I think that is a really good conversation as it relates to being aggressive when you need to get back to homeostasis, right? So when Mayor Adams found out that he was, pretty much going to lose his vision, diabetic and all that kind of stuff, and the doctors was trying to give him all this medicine, he goes, no, I want to do something with food. He was aggressively and very, very strict with his plant-based protocol, right?
Yes.
Once he got back to homeostasis, which is back to normal, he sometimes indulges in like a piece of fish or something, right? Or something that might not be plant-based exclusive. And that is something that I feel as just people in society, we spend a lot of time forcing people to be stuck in labels and not allow people to like be fluid and shift, right? Hence the reason the term coined by Von Anise, plant-based adjacent, was born, because it's really this opportunity that says, listen, guys, like, I'm plant-based when I want to be plant-based, but I ain't always going to be plant-based. So like in his season of let me get my health in order, aggressive, all in, let's do it. As he gets back into like a rhythm, he shifts. We should be okay with this.
Definitely. And I think that people always want to put other people in a box and put a label on them because it makes them comfortable when there's a label on you.
Correct.
So now when you want to put a different label on the person, they don't understand it, and I think the world is saying that labels necessarily, they don't help any of us, they just make us, a lot of times make us feel confined, and I think that I'm not going to tell you that I'm never going to eat a piece of cake, because it ain't happening. Okay. But now that I know how to read labels, I'm going to pick and choose the times that and the amount of added sugar that I put into my system.
Correct. Yes. I like that.
Pick my poison.
Right. And we don't have to start a whole like movement like, oh, Sugargate, Vaughn is eating cake now. Look, it's not that deep. Like, she wanted a piece of cake. Like, calm down. Everybody calm down. Yes. So yeah, anyway. And we saw we saw Dr. Greger there too in that clip. The nutritionfacts.org doctor. And Netflix did a really good, when I say did a really good marketing thing where they said the game changer. If you guys didn't notice that in the last clip, the game changer, which is one of their documentaries about athletes using a plant-based diet, like from an athletic standpoint, could kind of I've seen a documentary that you haven't seen. I gotta put you on.
That's my jam, girl. I love that.
So the game changer is the documentary where people always say, I'm not going to get enough protein if I'm on a plant-based diet, and they literally interview like sports teams, those guys who like lift cars and all those types of like heavy lifting things, athletes, triathlon people who are on plant-based diets, showing that you can get enough protein from the lifestyle. All right, let's dig into this trailer a little more.
I've tested many diets over the years looking for the healthiest ones. A major challenge in nutrition studies is everyone is unique and responds differently to the same food.
So that's why they did it on twins, because we're all unique and we respond differently to the same foods. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Just like when I was a vegetarian, I used to feel weak at times,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
And so because I could not get enough, like I was more like, I think a lot of people when you first start out as a vegetarian, you're sort of like a carbitarian. Like you just consume a whole bunch of carbs, you know.
Yeah.
You're
And
not
not
eating
with quality
enough.
carbs too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think I just wasn't eating enough of the good stuff that I was supposed to eat. And so I felt weak a lot, you know?
Yeah. That's a great point. And a lot of times we aren't eating enough. Like vegetarian food, so vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes. Well, a lot of times we're not eating enough beans and legumes, but especially we're talking about fruit, vegetables. Those calories are so low. Like if you ever look at that crate of spinach, that you get like when you go to the usually like 5 ounces of spinach, that whole crate it'll be like 50 calories. So like literally, you eat a whole crate of spinach for 50 calories. You gonna burn 50 calories walking to the refrigerator to get the like that's not enough food. And I think that when we switch over, there's a little shift of like how much food are we eating and we're not eating enough. And that's a lot of times like what you're talking about, people that explore the lifestyle, they have these stories of like, oh, I wasn't full, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, you're not eating enough food. It seems weird that you have to eat like a literally mixing bowl size salad for it to be an adequate salad. But even within the mixing bowl, you can't just put a bunch of like 50 calorie things. Like, let me put this whole thing of spinach, let me throw in a cucumber, let me throw in some shredded carrots, and let me throw in a tomato. What are you doing with that? You're gonna be hungry. You're gonna be full of water. And then you're gonna be hungry. You gotta throw in some protein. You gotta throw some beans in there. You gotta get some seeds. You gotta get some nuts. You gotta get some sprouts. So that's just important. I'll make that point to anybody who is struggling, staying full, and thinking that they gotta eat French fries for this process to work for them.
Yes, definitely. You're absolutely right about that.
Trust and believe, I love a fry, but you can't build a healthful diet off of fries.
Don't come for the potato.
Don't do it. Not on my watch.
So what if we got people who are genetically the same?
Just like us.
Twins share the same DNA, so we get to see if it's about your greens, not your genes.
For the next 8 weeks, we'll be investigating the pros and cons of a healthy diet that contains meat and dairy versus a plant-based diet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that was the most interesting part, actually.
Mm-hmm.
When they went through the diets and one person was eating, the plant-based diet. In the end, some people who they weren't eating enough, they lost muscle, and that was really like, something that I took note of.
Yeah, because people think like, oh, I want to lose weight, I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna lose weight, I'm not gonna eat. That's the worst thing for you to do. Your body needs food and fuel in order to create muscle, and muscle is the thing that we need most. And it is so much harder for your body to build muscle than it is to build fat, but we don't want to lose muscle. We want to continue to keep putting muscle on.
I agree with you. I think that you should so I think that the intention is important. So if your intention to fast is so that you can lose weight, I don't think that's a great intention.
Correct.
But
I'm not saying don't fast.
Yeah. So, but to fast because you want to, it's Ramadan. So someone's fasting for Ramadan, or you're fasting for religious reasons, or you're fasting just because I need to reset my body because I've been eating, but that all makes sense to me. And if you guys hear snoring in the background, that is my little Jack Russell Terrier on my lap, snoring like a grown man. Okay.
So funny.
All the stuff. Look it up.
So thanks for making that distinction as it relates to fasting. I still want to 100% agree. If we're fasting for like religious reasons. I personally don't believe in the last thing that you said, where you said fasted because you've been eating something you want to reset, unless you are going to reset for real afterwards. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Just eat better food. Like, why are we going to fast and then eat crap again? It's silly. Like, if you fasted because I had some crappy food, I'm not going to fast. No, just eat better food. Eat. We have to eat.
Well, as someone who eats crappy food on a Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, I drink smooth moves tea to get it out of my system. And I'm like, because like if I eat something I ain't got no business eating. Like I went to the barbecue and they had pork shoulder and hot dogs, and I ate both of those. The next day, I'm gonna be drinking smooth move tea. I'm not even gonna pretend with you, Brenzy, because you can't shame me. All right, I would drink smooth.
Don't think that you can eat some smooth move tea, eat a salad, and move on with your life. Don't be just in there drinking tea. That's not good for your system. I'm not saying don't. I don't know, have your smooth move. But what I'm saying is that if you believe that your answer to becoming healthy after you eat something that's not healthful is detoxing or fasting, your body's gonna be better prepared if you just give it good food, because we have to eat. And my point in this message is not eating is not the answer to losing weight. That is really my point.
I'm saying that this is not something that I do often. I'm saying that I have done this, and I'm not going to shame anyone who's done it because I've done it.
Yeah, I'm not shaming the people who've done it. I'm just offering up a different perspective moving forward in your life.
Yes, and so, and I'm not even going to tell you that if I go to the barbecue next week, if I go to the Easter barbecue, that I might not do it. I'm not going to tell you about it, okay?
Listen, I'm going to tell you to make sure you have a salad with that smooth move. I just don't believe in just fasting for food, like because you had a bad day. Just switch the day. Like, give yourself permission to eat crap sometimes and just get back on the wagon. Because I feel like when we feel like we have to detox or fast after having a cheat day or something, it's telling our body, or telling our, even just putting it out into the space that what we just did wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was bad. It wasn't good for us.
So yeah. So what I typically do, I don't fast for the whole day because that takes a whole level of discipline that I ain't got in me right now. So, I treat it like I just fast till the sun goes down.
Okay.
Like, don't eat anything all morning, drink smooth moves, drink water, have a smoothie, and then I have a sensible dinner. And it'll be like,
so it's like an intimate,
like eating vegetables.
Okay. All right. Listen, all right.
Brandy's still judging, but I don't care. Don't care.
Let's get back into this.
All right. The diet assignment reveal.
I could taste the kale now.
How will different diets affect your body fat and lean mass?
I'm very excited to see my body transform. My blood pressure has been sometimes dangerously high.
We're at a critical point. So many people are dying from diet-related diseases.
Yeah. It's really sad. Like, we've discussed this ad nauseum, that in our family, there are, like, on both of our families and on both sides of my family, there are people who are diabetic and dying from, food-related illness. Like, and I frankly, I think that they're just like addicted to food, addicted to like the salty fried chicken, beef and broccoli, like just like the stuff that, and they just can't help themselves, And so I'm not speaking from a place of judging anyone, because I've been there too. It just so happens that my addiction now is oranges. But that's only because Crazy Brandy's here. Before that, my addiction would have been like Levain cookies. Okay. But now that I have Brandy, always I'm gonna keep eating oranges. It's just friends to help you to be accountable, Yeah,
and like introduce you to different things. And like you said, I will tell you, I did not believe in food. I really did not believe in food addiction growing up. Like I thought it was fake, and that's just who I am. I was just like, what do you mean food? How are you addicted to? I really didn't understand it. When I started to get into the science behind food, I was like, this is real. Like this is real. And like you were saying, right? You were saying that people are addicted to like salty fried chicken, beef and broccoli, those things. When you think about the notes that exist in those, you got the holy trinity of addiction in food is sugar, salt, and fat. Literally, sugar, salt, and fat. And this is a telltale sign from like just eating a bag of potato chips.
Yes,
potato chips are those things that you can go through a whole bag, and you don't necessarily need a whole bag of chips, but because of that sugar, salt, fat combo, you will eat it. However, you cannot go through a bowl of boiled potatoes at the same frequency. You just can't do it because the sugar, salt, and fat is not there. So it's like, it's so easy to be addicted to processed foods because they're created for you to be addicted to them.
They're created for that. Just like I was, like I eat frozen French fries, and I eat the organic ones, the Alexia Gold frozen French fries. If you guys want to sponsor us, that would be great. They're so delicious. I love them. I love the rosemary ones. I put them in the air fryer, so there's not much of a downside to eating them. Fast forward to my sister. She buys Ore-Ida for her kids, and when you look at Ore-Ida, they have added salt, added sugar, because they do the old school thing where it's like, and my sister's like, why? And when I was doing the sugar challenge, I was like, there's sugar in there. She was like, why is there sugar in French fries? Because the water that they use when they're boiling it is sugar water, because they want you to get addicted to these. And that's what McDonald's does, and that's what a lot of companies do. Not that I have anything against McDonald's. I would love for them to sponsor us. I know Brandy's against it, but you know me. I'm the Louis Vuitton girl. Brandy's the girl number one.
I need to check Louis Vuitton if I'm walking around with that bag. That's called the brand ambassador project.
Okay. And we digress. Yes, Brandy, you're absolutely right. You start to realize that there's a system, like maybe I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. Maybe there is a system in play here that wants to keep me addicted.
Yeah, because that's why you got milk and barbecue chips. And there's no reason for milk to be in barbecue potato chips. None.
See how you just tell me stuff and now I'm like, milk and what?
Look at the package, people. Look at the package of barbecue chips. You see milk in most of them. Insane. All right, let's get back into our documentary.
The quality of our food, it's changing in front of us rapidly.
We're as sure processed meat causes cancer as we are that cigarette smoke causes cancer and plutonium causes cancer.
You can't trust these labels. If they got about this much room, then that's free range.
Oof. That was really sad to me. When they said that thing about free range, because my mother is like very much like, no, it says free range and no antibiotics. And I'm like, no, girl, it's all a trap.
They lying.
Pretty is like, and you don't understand, like this is Brandy's, like her second calling should have been true pod, like the true crimes podcast person. She needs to be a detective that goes down the rabbit hole and tells you they lying.
Lying. Always lying. And that's why when people say things like organic, I'm like, I got to talk to the person. Because, if you didn't know, talking about labels, USDA organic only requires the food to be 80% organic, meaning there is 20% room for it to be other.
That's true. This is why we all need to get some land and eat off of the land.
Yes, and we need to support the people, the local farmers that grow their own food, because a lot of them, funny enough, will use organic practices but cannot afford the USDA organic label. So they'll use 100%. Yes, organic practices without the label. But the people who can afford the label, they only got to do 80% to get the certification.
That's true.
talking about, free range versus not free range.
It shouldn't have.
No, but that's why it's important to like know what's up.
Every time you eat a steak, a little puff of smoke goes up in the Amazon.
Many of the same things that promote human health are also good for the environment.
If you ask any human being, do you want to save the planet or destroy the planet? I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer, right?
Look at you all.
I can see some differences just by looking at you.
We actually saw profound changes based on what diet they were eating.
Yes. So as they go through their experiment, you start to see, like we're showing you the trailer, but as they go through their experiment, I think it's like 5 or 6 episodes. You start to see, one person eating like a plant-based diet and the other person eating meat, right? And when you get to the end, you start to see you start to see the profound changes in it. And the good thing that they didn't just focus on one age group. They did a whole bunch of ages. It had to be it was like a group of 20-year-olds.
Yeah. They mixed it up good. And they were intentional, which I really appreciated, about giving the people who were eating meat like a healthy, sensible meat diet. It wasn't like they were like trying to force the data by giving them like fried foods and trash. Like it was like a clean diet. It was like food. But the one thing that I would say though, I wish, which would be an interesting, because I really feel like their point would have been even strongly made. I wish they would have given the plant-based people like a whole food plant-based diet, because the plant-based people did have a lot of there was like processed things mixed into that thing.
Because the first iteration was they ate the food in the box that was given to them, and then after that they had to do it themselves. So when you have to do it yourself, like me, when I went vegan for a week, almost died because I was like, well, I guess I'm eating Oreos and wheat thins. No.
Yes, but even the food that they gave them in a box was not whole food. It was they were like faux meats in there and stuff like that, which is cool. But I'm curious as a person who loves data as to what the numbers have been had the protocol been like full whole food plant-based, no process in comparison, just from a data perspective. And I know that for the most part, realistically, most people are going to mix in some type of process, something, because that's just the nature of like our busy lives and what have you.
Yes.
But just for the sake of this study and this data, especially before they started making their own food, I think that the box food could have been, because it was prepared, they just had to heat it up. No process. So that was it. But I did love that they did not compare this to like them giving them like fast food, because that would have been like this.
And then they did they did their chronological age and the age like after they finished the diet, and who fared better, and the plant-based people fared better.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And one of the ladies, they even did like their sex life, and like the twins who were women, the plant-based lady, she was like, her sex life was like she got hornier.
Yeah. Which makes a lot of sense. You start activating things that were dead from all of that
dead meat in your stomach.
Well, more specifically from the blockages of blood that flow to our sexual organs. Like people don't realize that same blood from our heart goes into our sexual organs. So in the event that your heart, there's the stifling of blood moving there, it's going to be affected everywhere.
Definitely. And that's why they created Viagra for older men, because God forbid we live in a world where a man's penis doesn't work.
Well, what's funny about that is that it was actually a fluke.
A heart.
It's a heart, right? And which makes sense.
I know Bono used to take in my dog for his heart.
Okay. But that's the thing. They did, that wasn't the intended purpose. But it shows, like you said, it shows how improving the heart also improves the sexual organs. Yes.
Those lines look very different, don't they?
That's a huge
In just 8 weeks.
It shocked me.
We can solve a lot of the issues that are hurting us by just rethinking what's at the end of our fork.
It was very, very good.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like I said, 8 weeks. That's 2 months. Literally in 2 months. That's 60 freaking days.
That's what I did. You know,
Change.
we sugar-free challenge for 2 months, and I, lost 7 pounds. And my blood work came back, no kidney problems, and so I think it's because I just readjusted. And it wasn't like a huge leap. I just started paying attention and feeling.
Right, the intentionality shifts. Like that's what's fascinating. Like you, and I love that you said that because it's not like you became me. Right. But like just being intentional about reading the labels really makes you make better decisions about what you put into your body. That's it.
I mean, I admire your level of discipline. Like I really do. I'm like, I love it. You understand? Brandy, she is serious about her vegan diet. Okay.
Plant-based.
But plant-based. Yeah, she's not vegan, she's plant-based because she will wear leather shoes. Okay. And so I think that I admire that, but I know like for me to do something, like I try to think of it like, am I going to be able to, I need this to be a lifestyle change. Like I need to be able to sustain this. So I'm not a person who's gonna tell you that I'm never ever gonna eat a piece of chicken. At this point in my life, that's not how I feel. But something happens. I don't remember what happened, but I bought this food. It was like it was a soup, and the lady boiled the soup with the backs of the chicken, and I put it up to my nose, and I smelled that blood. I was off of chicken for like 4 or 5 months. I was like, yeah, I'm not saying I'm never eating chicken, but right now I ain't eating no chicken. Right. Yeah. It's like every time I thought about it, I smelled it, And so I think that you have to be clear about who you are. And the more self-aware you become, the better you become at taking care of your health and what you put into your body.
Yeah, that's also why I'm intentional about not claiming vegan, right? Vegans are very, very intentional about like, this is like the lifestyle that they've committed to, this lifestyle, like all around, to save the animals, to save the planet, to save the animals, planet. There's 3 things. Anyways, there's 3 things that I can't remember right now. But anyway, those 3 things. My priority really is health. So like not that I don't. I love that by default, I'm supporting the environment. I love that by default, I'm supporting animals. I love that. But I'm interested in the health of humans.
I will say that too. Just like last week, we went out to like a lunch, and Brandy decided she was going to take the vegetables home. And they said, "You want a plastic bag?" Brandy was like, "No, save a tree." Meanwhile, we're walking through the streets, and it's juice dripping all over everything.
A thick canvas bag that absorbed the juice, luckily. But yes. Yes, I am definitely a naturally green girl. Like I'm the person who like sees a spider or like an ant in my house and I'll catch it and put it outside. I prefer to do that versus kill it.
Oh no, I prefer not to.
I try to get it to like, save its life. Like I want its life not to end in my house.
I don't do that. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm doing that. You need to get out of my house. It's going down for real. I'm having an emotional moment. I'm smashing you to bits. I don't have this. No, and all the way to the no. You should not have come into this space, and I have to smash you to bits so that all your friends can get tentilators and feel this ain't the place we should be.
You're so funny.
Because they send signals to each other.
So yeah, but anyway, so guys, the Twin Experiment is available on Netflix. If you have a Netflix subscription, check it out. It's cool. It's an easy watch. What is it like? 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's interesting. I like that it wasn't. It's not like preachy. Some documentaries can be like, or docuseries as this is, can be like real preachy, and the perspective can be just not as inviting, and like you say, you don't feel judged watching this. You just feel like they are giving you information, and you're gonna do with it what you're gonna do with it.
Definitely. And I love the fact that they, in terms of like, they had someone who was a trainer helping them to work out, and then they were doing it themselves. Like, they really walked us through the whole process of being an optimal healthy person. And that's what people say about celebrities, right? They're like, well, if I was a celebrity, I would be skinny too, because right? Everyone says that, right? Because I have a trainer. I'd have a trainer and I'd have a chef, and the rest of us have to do it ourselves. And when you see this experiment, you see like when they had the trainer and when they had the food in the box, they were better than when they had to do it themselves. They fell off.
Yeah, support. Like I tell people, like, this is why I pay to get my clothes washed. Like, I would have nothing to wear. Because it's better when somebody else can support you in certain areas of your life where you know that you're not going to necessarily make the time, or you don't have the time to do it yourself, right? So trust, I would eat better, even me. I'd eat more variety if someone was cooking for me every day.
That definitely. And like, even I said, like, if me and Brandy weren't as close as we were when I needed my sugar fix, I would not be eating oranges. I would be trying to get a cookie, But once I started eating oranges, it became like, it's more than just a sugar fix. It is, it's the way it bursts into your mouth. It's the way it hydrates me. The way
when you peel it, that zest and that it's a whole vibe of, or eating a piece of citrus, just peeling into citrus. It's just
definitely
amazing.
And so it just helped me to see, like, I needed to just be healthier, and make healthier choices, because that's, they say, show me your friends and I'll show you what you think. I guess that's supposed to be, or how you are.
Yeah, that sounds very accurate-ish.
Something like that. So, like, even like, okay, so in order to lose weight, I've been trained, no rice, no bread, no pasta. And that's how you lose weight. However, I lost 7 pounds and I was eating sourdough bread every day. It didn't have no added sugar. Okay. It didn't have any hours. Yeah. And I ate sourdough bread. Brandy's not going to like this, but with butter on it. And it was really delicious,
It was.
Because Brandy, she likes toast, dry toast.
I do. Now, don't get me wrong. I like toast with jam too. And I like toast with butter and jam. But I don't always have butter.
I always have butter. I always have vegan butter.
No,
I always have Earth Balance vegan butter, and that's a good sponsor for us.
Butter, what do you got it? I got to be in butter season, which is usually somewhere between the months of October and December.
Wait, what?
So for me, butter is an indulgent food that we have during holiday season, and that's somewhere between October and December in my house. So you will not find, unless somebody brought it here and left it, you won't find any like plant-based butter in this house outside of those months.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. That makes sense.
But that's just for me. Otherwise I'm going to put it like, this is also me building my environment. Because for as much as I don't, like, you know what I mean? I'm not like, I am as disciplined as people say. I don't know if it's a commitment or if it's discipline, but I'm disciplined because I don't put myself in an environment. I definitely don't keep my personal environment stocked with things that would potentially have me out here messed up in the streets, right? My current environment, I don't do it. Don't get me wrong. I can go into environments and still not partake though. So I don't know. I'm talking through this in real time, but all I can really say for sure is that my environment's going to support my lifestyle choices.
Sorry about that. Yes, I understand what you're saying. I know what you mean. Just like I don't buy chips and bring them to my house just because
you're going to eat them.
I'm going to eat the whole bag. And if I buy chips, I have a trick. I go to the little bodega and I buy just a little bag of 50-cent chips. Mm-hmm. And then I eat my 50-cent chips. And I always and I buy 3 chips. I buy Lay's.
It's so salty, but so good.
Doritos. and also pretzels. And I put them in a bag and I eat all three of them together and then I'm done.
It's like party mix.
I make my own party mix and then I'm done.
I love it.
But I buy little bags because if I buy big bags, it's going down and it's going down for several days until it's all done. You know?
Yeah. No, for real. That's real. Like like you say, so if you're gonna have an addiction, oranges, mangoes, blueberries, pineapples, right?
Yes, blackberries. The blackberries were so good. I would get a container of blackberries and just eat it, and I'm done. And I'll eat it all day.
Yeah, roasted potatoes. These are the
Yes.
addictions that we should attempt to have. Lentil soup. These are good addictions.
Lentil soup.
Soup, girl. Have you had the one by Pret a Manger?
Yes, I like the lentils with carrot. Like I just feel like that's such a good
they put it in there.
lentils, carrots, and rosemary, and I'm happy.
So good. With a little potato in there. Finished with some balsamic. I love it. All right, guys. I think we have come to the end of the road for this one.
Yes, definitely.
Until next time, be easy.
Thanks for listening. Tune in each week for a new episode.
And stay connected to us on Instagram and YouTube at The Easy Answer Podcast.